Hi, Raunak. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Congratulations, Raunak. 720 V42 Q48 Q47, right? So,
Yeah,
how does it feel?
yeah, it feels like an achievement.
Absolutely. It is an
Mm,
achievement. And especially if we go through your journey, it's quite an achievement and quite a few learnings that we have from your experience. And let's talk about that. So, this was your second attempt, right? And
yeah,
right. So, this was on Jan. So, when did you take your second attempt?
16th of Jan.
16th of Jan. And then your first attempt was on 20th of December,
Yeah.
right? And when did you start preparing for the test?
So the whole timeline was I started on 20th of November. Then
Okay.
I diligently prepared till my first attempt.
Mm-hmm. So about
Then,
less than a month.
yeah, around
Three.
less than a month because
Yeah.
last week I kept for mocks.
Right, right.
And then I took a break for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So until New Year's, I did not do anything. I wanted to
That's good.
clear my head.
Uh-huh.
So I started preparing again on the 2nd of Jan, and then my next attempt was 16th of Jan.
So you really planned it very well. It seems like a very
Yeah,
tight timeline. I know you were preparing almost full time, half time verbal,
yeah.
half time quant, but despite that, I mean, it's really amazing control over what is it that you wanted to do. So very good. You're a good planner. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
how
think
did you?
that's
Yeah. So how did you get to know about e-GMAT?
so. My brother had already used it for his GMAT prep. I think it was 2 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he recommended it to me straight away. For verbal, he said just follow the GMAT and the OG for practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I just listened to him. I opened an account and I did the trial version. And I liked the process, so I just went full on into it. I did not doubt it at all.
Good. Thank you to your brother, and I'll be sure
Yeah,
to send him a thank
truly.
you note also. Good. Okay, so when you say that you did not doubt the process, what do you mean by that?
So you have prepared the course in a very comprehensive way where if the course takes time, it's for a reason. If you have recommended certain steps, it's for a reason. And I did not doubt that
Mm-hmm.
because you have done research on it. So I just trusted you and the
Mm-hmm.
course and I just followed it. I did not try to put my head into the process. I just followed what you recommended.
Right. And that is a very, very important thing, Ronak. I mean, you won't believe how many times we have to tell our students that, don't lose hope. I mean, don't give up that quickly. I mean, people get impatient for no reason, right? And what you are saying is that should really touch upon a lot of different points that students experience through their journeys, that they feel, is this truly the way to prepare? I mean, it is. I mean, look at the results, and we'll talk about your ESR as well as we go forward. Okay, so what was the focal point of your first preparation? So you focused on verbal. So walk us through your verbal prep.
So I started with sentence correction. I felt that it would be my strong point
Mm-hmm.
because I had already done lots of grammar in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went head on into the course, and the course is quite long, if you can call it that.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed though.
Mm-hmm.
So I just followed the process of the course and went step by step. And I did a lot of reviews. So every morning I would review what I had done the previous day, or just a quick summary.
Okay.
And I just followed the whole course. I went step by step, and later when I moved to Scholaranium, I don't recall what it's called, where
Cementing
you
quizzes.
cementing quizzes, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I did all that. Even for that, I followed the process. So for
Mm-hmm.
sentence correction, I think I did not have to redo anything. I
Mm-hmm.
could easily move on.
Mm-hmm.
But for CR, for example, I followed the process. Even if it was not working for me, even if I got two fails, I followed your process where I needed to go back to the OG questions.
Mm-hmm.
It took time. If I had planned 2 days for it, then it took me 4 days. But
Mm-hmm.
still, I followed it, and yeah, I think that was what was very helpful for me. That
Good.
I did not doubt anything.
Good. So let's talk about the review part that you mentioned. Help me understand. Let's say you finished certain files of verbs module on Monday. What would you do on Tuesday when you would resume your study session?
So if I didn't get 100% in any of the quizzes, or I had always bookmarked if I got correct and the process still was wrong, I would bookmark it, and I would do the quiz again. And just to make it an intuitive process that if I had a certain type of question, I would automatically get it right and not because I was thinking about applying the rules or anything.
Okay.
So I would do the summary of the course, I would do the quiz, and then only then I would move to the next part.
Okay.
So that was the everyday process. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. Now you took your first attempt on 20th of December, and can you share your ESR for that?
Oh, yes.
So so you went through SC, you went through CR, you did the cementing process for both of those. RC, you had told me earlier that you did not go through RC course much at all.
No,
Okay.
not the first time.
So this was the attempt, and this is the SC. The process worked fabulously for you. You built your ability to such a degree that you were able to get to 91st percentile, and your time to answer questions was 1 minute and 7 seconds. That's absolutely amazing. But what happened with CR? So for SC, I believe the process was working for you. You got all your concepts clarified. You made sure that you were reviewing so thoroughly. You made sure that there were no doubts at all. What was the process that you were following to solve SC questions?
So I had the rules in my mind. It was very intuitive what the rules were. And I would read the sentence slowly, trying to understand the meaning. And at the same time, I would look for the rules. And I didn't have to look for it because it was an intuition. I practiced a lot. So if there was a verb, I would know what I had to look for. And it became automatic that I could figure out what was wrong. And it became very intuitive.
That's amazing. And this is where students, because you put in that much of effort, you were so diligent in your effort, because you were reviewing, because you trusted the process. Through that sheer action of doing the course in the right manner and reviewing it, the process automatically became an automation in your head in some way, that you wouldn't read it. You would not really have to say, now I'm going to understand the meaning. Now I'm going to create sentence structure. Now I'm going to identify various, parts of the sentence. It was all happening all together. And that was because of the hard work that you put in and because of the trust that you put in the course. That's really good, very impressive. Well, why didn't that work in CR? What happened in CR?
So CR, I followed the process for the course in the same way. I put the same amount of hard work. But I think during the exam, I doubted myself. So because of the pressure, I just let go of the process, and I was muddled in my head as to if I should just first try to understand the meaning or not, or if I should try to pre-think, or if I should go for assumptions. It was just modeled in my head. The CR, I was not at all happy with my attempt. I was sure, immediately after the exam, I knew I was not going to do well because I was very muddled in my head, and I was not following the process. I was not trying to understand the paragraph. I was not doing any of the things. So that's why you can see that it took a lot of time as well. And despite that, the accuracy is also not that great.
Right. And I do want to share your cementing. So essentially what you said was something very interesting. I'm looking at my other monitor here. So 1 second here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share my screen here. So what you said was that you went through the course, you applied similar principles that you applied for SC. But in the exam, the way SC process was intuitive to you, and that's evident in the ability that you demonstrated, CR process wasn't intuitive and you were all muddled in your head. So same person, same Raunak, same methodology, similar course, SCCR, e-GMAT course, but what clicked for SC did not click for CR. And was there evidence of that in your scholaranium? There was indeed. Now this is your cementing for SC. Very beautifully done. Very diligently executed. This is for medium. This is for hard. You did not, you failed here. You took in relaxed timing. You continued taking in relaxed timing till you didn't cross the threshold. Then you took it in standard timing and then you breeze through it. Really amazing. And this is the kind of effort that students need to put in order to make the process second nature to you. And this is what led to your 91st percentile in SC. Timing, very good. Now, when you come to CR, if you look at it, you failed here, so you took it in relaxed, and this is medium. You took it in relaxed timing, you passed here, but then you were not able to consistently pass. Now, yes, this is just one question that you could not answer correctly as compared to this one over here, or three questions that you could not answer correctly. But there was something lacking in your process here, which is why you struggled to stay above the threshold in hard cementing. You never reached that ability before your exam, right?
No.
So that is what I mean, and these are your cementing. So I'm not even talking about your overall CR accuracy. This is during a cementing. So the system kind of predicted that you're not in CR at the same place as you are in SC, and that's what you experienced in your first attempt as well, right? So now when you came back to your second attempt, when you started preparing, what was your methodology for CR?
So for CR, I wanted to practice a lot more, but this time I wanted to focus on what process I was going to follow. So there were certain type of questions which I was not able to do well, and there were certain which I could do well. So I did not focus much on them. But the ones that I could not do well, I always had an error log. So that's one thing I did, even for sentence correction, and a very diligent error log. So everything that I was getting wrong was there in the error log. Every error that I was making was mentioned in that error log, and I would review that before every quiz that I would take.
Amazing.
So I was doing that. So that is, I think, very important to know what mistakes I was making.
Can you show your error log? Do you have it handy?
I could find it.
Okay. That's very important. And is this the error log that we prescribed?
Yeah, it's following the exact.
Oh, good. Yeah. I shouldn't have even asked, Raunak. You followed the course to the letter T.
Yeah.
I should not have even asked that.
Not sure if there's a complete one, but I can find.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Just a reference one, and then later on you can send me the complete one. Because I'm interested in seeing how students are utilizing the error log.
Yeah,
it's starting. Okay, wow.
For sentence correction.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
very
70.
How many?
I had for mocks as well.
How many?
72, I guess.
72. Wow. Okay. Okay. Tried but failed pretty close. Okay. All right.
And comments were very personal to me. So exactly what I couldn't do well.
Right.
Or in that particular question. But I spent a lot of time on the error log.
So when you did the review, which columns did you utilize to do the review? I mean, your comments are very good. That's really good. But did you utilize the columns I through P to do your analysis?
I did. So this was one which was very useful.
Which one?
Meaning. The meaning one. Then probing questions, I automatically asked, I think, so I did not have to think much about it. But then the others as well, grammatical and why I did not choose the correct answer and why I marked the incorrect answer. So even these, I did follow them. And even when the ones I think I was getting right, I did have them here if I took long or did not, or it was a guess or something like that.
Okay, got it. Very good.
CR as well, I have it here. But CR, I don't think it's the complete one, but yeah, I think I have it.
Oh my goodness, I can see so many oranges. That's why the error log is shouting. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have put in bold, which I made, the errors that I made again and again. So.
Right. So see, I mean, that is the error log. So for CR, because SC, you had it pretty much. I mean, the process was pretty much in your control. CR, the moment I take a look at this error log, I see that, it's a process that you're not able to do. You were not able to, yes, visualizing did not work all the way through. Your pre-thinking wasn't happening, your option choice analysis, you were trying, but you were still not committed to it, which is what created the muddle thing. So, I mean, your error log and your cementing data shows what you actually experience. It's kind of predicted that. So good. Now, how did you fix that? So you can stop sharing now. And if you can share this error log with me, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I practiced a lot, but I was not just blindly practicing lots of passages. I was thoroughly analyzing what was going wrong. So the biggest problem that I found was I was not trying to understand the meaning. I was, to save time, I was rushing through understanding the meaning, and that's where all the problems started. So I would just rush through and read once and think that, okay, now I know what the gist is, but that was not enough. I needed to thoroughly understand the meaning of the passage. Only then could I understand the question. Only then could I pre-think that, okay, what could be the negative assumption or things like that. Without understanding the total passage, I would, because I was not focusing on what was the part of the passage that I needed to focus on.
Right.
So that also helped me a lot the second time, where I knew what section of the passage was the most important part and what I had to reverse. And that's how it helped me the second time. And then I went on and practiced a lot of the passages, both from the Scholaranium and from OG.
Okay.
I did a lot of practice, but a lot of focused practice, because the first time I was doing a lot of practice, but it was random. And the second time I did not make that mistake.
And can you share your ESR for the second attempt? So it was what, 15 days of focused practice, which included SC practice, CR practice, RC as well. And then what was the result of that?
Yep. So I moved from
you're not
30,
sharing your
I
screen.
think.
You're not sharing your screen, Raunak. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So you were at 52nd percentile in your first attempt, and in your second attempt, you are at 91st percentile. And time to answer each CR question is less than, is about 2 minutes. So that's the magic of process, right? That's the magic of diligent effort that you put in. So that's absolutely wonderful. And at this point, Raunak, I do want to say one thing that, it's, for SC, you were able to embrace the process right away. And that's what showed up.
Yeah.
And you were consistently performing, first attempt, 91st percentile, second attempt, 99th percentile, you bettered it. And then you sentence correction time, still the same, 1 minute, 10 seconds. And quite a few students have that sense that, if we have to understand the meaning, if we have to build the sentence structure, ask the probe questions, isn't it going to take longer? No. What's your answer to that?
No, it doesn't. It becomes intuitive. So you don't have to go through each step and take, say, 2 seconds for each step. It's all incorporated into your thinking.
Exactly. And that same thing happened with CR. Now, it's very interesting that you said that you worked, you put in the effort for CR, similar kind of diligent effort, but it's just that mental switch that you had to do to truly live up to the work that you're putting in, right? To truly do that focused effort. So it's really, so I always say, actions speak louder than words. When students come and tell us, I am applying the process, but the results are not evident. It means you're not applying the process. What would you like to say about that, Raunak?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was not doing the first time. So I was doing it for the practice, for the courses where you had a lot of time, where there was no time constraint. But as soon as there was time constraint in the Scholaranium quizzes, I would just forget the process and it would just go out of the window.
Wow. Oh, good.
So
all right.
That's where I think the error log helped me figure that out. That's what I was not doing correctly the first time. Because I created error logs also for the mocks. And that's what I figured out, that when it was the exam pressure, so I was simulating the exam pressure even when I was doing the mocks. So that's what I figured out, that's where I was lacking, that under pressure, I was not able to apply the process in critical reasoning because it was something kind of new for me. While sentence correction was something that I had also done in school and so on. So it was not that new. So I could easily apply the process. But for critical reasoning, because it was new, under pressure, I was not applying the process.
Right, right, right. But that's something which, through your focused effort, you were able to get over that problem, solve that problem in your second attempt. So beautiful. Let's talk about RC. RC, and you can
Mhm.
stop sharing your screen. RC improved quite a bit. So what did you have? And I know that you didn't prepare for RC in your first attempt. So what did you do in
No.
second attempt?
So I practiced a lot more passages,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the e-GMAT course, but I did not do it as diligently as I'd done sentence correction and CR.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know all the processes that we are supposed to apply.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew this part where I think you have recommended where I should write the summary of each passage.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually writing down the summary of each passage.
Okay.
Earlier, I was thinking it in my head that I knew, but
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I would move to the questions, I would forget that.
Oh.
But in the second attempt, I practiced for each passage that I had practiced in between my two attempts. I would write the summary. So
Mm-hmm.
I would actually write it down and I would refer to them while answering the questions. And I made that a habit so that that process became very, again, intuitive and fast.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I attempted it during my exam, I wrote down the summary of each passage,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I think helped me the most because I was thinking writing a summary is like going to take writing down things would
Mm-hmm.
take such a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a waste of time I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time I practiced the same way throughout, and I would practice I think 15-20 passages every day, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and the same process with writing down, and I think that's how I could have done much better, but still
Yeah, you got
there's
the
still an
score that you were
improvement.
looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So, did you use any shorthand for writing summaries, or would you write complete sentences?
So I would write, so my thinking is very random that way. So I would know certain things. So without would be, there's a shortcut for without or
So you
things
were
like that.
okay, got it. So you
Yeah. So
use
I was
those,
doing that, but it was my personal process.
and that's good because many a time students ask us, is there a way to write notes? I mean, can you give us a process? So, what would you say to that?
No, definitely not. It has to be because during the exam, the pressure is high and time constraint is there. It
Mm-hmm.
should be something that has been working for you throughout your life. So even
Exactly.
as kids, we would write those things in school.
Right.
We
Right.
would not always write the whole sentences in school as well. So we all, or even at work, you would not write the whole
Right.
thing.
Right.
So that's what it should be in the exam. It should be your process. You can
Mm-hmm.
use the tools that are available,
Mm-hmm.
but the process has to be yours and it has to be practiced. You need to practice it before the
Exactly.
exam.
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, this is amazing, Raunak. I mean, you have given so many great insights. Now, if you were to summarize all of this and, say three things that GMAT aspirants should keep in mind in order to be successful right the first time, what would those be?
So first thing is for a tool like e-GMAT that I've used, just trust the people who have created the course and follow their process. Just try it.
Mm-hmm.
Follow their process, but uh, make it such that it's you. So you don't have to follow something that's uncomfortable for you.
Mm-hmm.
So become comfortable in the process. If it's not happening, try to figure out a way
Mm-hmm.
where you are embracing the process and not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So you should always be comfortable with it. And but I completely followed the process and it worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be different for someone else, but maybe for me it worked. And I learned a lot of the theoretical things that I needed, all of it
Mm-hmm.
actually from e-GMAT.
Mm-hmm.
And second thing that did not go well for me the first attempt was I did not trust myself during the exam.
Mm-hmm.
So even for sentences, I was doubting a lot. So I would know the right answer, but I would say, okay, maybe this doesn't sound right. So let me check again.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that. The same I did for CR. I think CR, lots of errors came because of that, because
Mm-hmm.
I changed my answers in the last moment. So it's very important to practice so much that
Mm-hmm.
you can trust yourself. And in the exam, just trust yourself. If you know C is the answer, just mark it and move on. Don't go
Mm-hmm.
back to reading the sentence. Don't go back to checking other answer choices. Just mark, just be confident in your first choice and move on.
Mhm. So, Ronak, I want to
And
ask, I want to interject here and ask a follow-up question. When you say practice a lot, what does that mean? Is there a set number of questions that you should be solving? When would you know enough is enough?
You would never know that.
Okay.
So what I did was, between my first and second attempt, there were just 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 week I dedicated only to mocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I had around 8 days for practice. And every day I practiced everything. So I would practice critical reasoning, I would practice sentence correction, RC and quant and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But I practiced every day. And I felt that, for example, for me, 20 sentences were good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I would practice 20 hard sentences or 20 hard and medium sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And similar I did for critical reasoning and for RC. So in between these times, I did not do any of the easy questions. It was just medium or hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a set number and I was doing that set number every day. So if it's 20 sentences, I was doing it every day.
And you were maintaining certain metrics, right, for yourself. You would log these in the error log. So it's really the satisfaction that you would get that, yes, I'm in control of the mistakes that I'm making. I'm learning from those. Good. So it wasn't just randomly solving 20 questions, right? So it was a controlled, focused practice, right?
I think that's the biggest mistake even I made during the first time, where I was very happy with ticking off certain number of questions.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized that that was not the way. I was not getting anything out of it. I was not correcting my mistakes. So I think that's the most important thing. That's where the error log, it sounds that it takes a lot of time, but it's very important. I cannot stress it enough. And even an error log for a mock exam, even that is very critical, because there you have running between sections, and that plays a big role in, especially in verbal. Because certain times I was thrown off with too difficult passages in the beginning, and that took a lot of time, and my timing calculations were all off. So I would know how to balance it out by making an error log for mocks.
Okay,
so
that's interesting.
That was also very important, to have an error log even for mocks.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. Okay, yeah, sorry, I interjected you, the last point. I don't know if I broke your chain of thought.
No, so I only had two. And third was, I don't know, I just enjoyed the process somehow. I just enjoyed wanting to get a good score in GMAT. And I had not studied or had taken an exam for almost 9 years.
Wow.
So 2014, 13 was the last time that I took an official exam. So in the beginning, I thought that it might be difficult to sit down and study, because in between I did not have to study with the aim of getting a score or writing an exam.
Right.
But I think I just embraced it, and I was determined that I needed to get a score, and I could put in those 8 hours or 10 hours every day. Right. I would just sit and I would do it. And yeah, the hard work is very important, but you need to enjoy it. You need to enjoy learning. Good. Because eventually you're gaining something from it. You're learning more grammar, or critical reasoning was a lot of fun, even though I was getting very frustrated with not achieving the scores, but it was a lot of fun learning new things. And yeah, that's very important, to have a lot of fun while doing it.
Good, good. I like what you said. It's not just the score. It is you're actually building life skills here. I mean, the way you have learned, CR, for example, how do you critically analyze an argument? That's something that you would be doing beyond, throughout your lives now, right? Reading RC passage so that you can understand the essence behind it, right? So those are life skills that you have learned. So good. It's really important to learn, enjoy that process. So very, very, very good point. All right, Raunak, this was wonderful. Any feedback that you have for us?
I don't remember much of the course right now, but I think I couldn't take a lot of the ability quizzes because I ran out of questions. So probably I couldn't figure out the number of questions that I had to attempt before I dove into the process. So I probably had attempted a lot of the questions before I started the cementing and so on.
Right.
So that would be helpful if it was very clear from the beginning how I was to go about Scholaranium.
Okay.
Because I think questions even in the course are part of the Scholaranium, so you exhaust those questions as
in the
well.
Course are not. No. Course are completely different. So Scholaranium,
Mocks, sorry, the mocks.
No, mocks are
the
also
mocks.
different.
because I exhausted a lot of the questions because I attempted one mock before the exam,
Right, right.
before the course.
Mm-hmm.
So I could not do a lot of the ability quizzes because the process was working for me. So I wanted to use the ability quizzes as well,
Got it. Got it.
but I
So
could
in
not do them for
SC,
some reason.
actually what happened is in SC you have 4 ability quizzes. In CR you don't have any ability quizzes.
Yeah.
Right, right. Because again, these quizzes require a certain composition of questions, right? These are
Yeah,
not
I think
just,
so.
yeah, these are not just randomly picked hard questions. These are questions with a certain, you should have sufficient representation from inference, boldface, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So I think you exhausted it in CR because of the number of quizzes that you took and because of the
Yeah.
composition. Okay, makes sense. All right, yeah, that's a fair point, and we can take that into consideration for sure. Okay, all right, Raunak. Good luck for your application process. It was
Thank you.
wonderful discussing with you as to about your GMAT journey and lots of good learning points. And I would say this, you are a model student. I mean, I just
Thank
love it
you.
when students, when it's the same course, right? Same course that's accessible to thousands and thousands of students, but not everybody gets to where you are at, right? And you, with your hard work, with the effective planning that you did and with your focus, you were able to get there. And these are skills. This is a life skill. How do you plan? How do you learn from your mistakes, right? And again, people don't recognize that, but the kind of decision making that you do during your GMAT journey, that decision making shows the kind of decision making you will do in your management career as well, right? In your application process, you'll have to take several of these
Yeah.
decisions. And it's not as, I mean, application process is very personal. It's not as structured as a course would allow it to be.
Not
So
at all.
right, the process right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so amazing, Ronak. I wish you all the best, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be very, very successful in whatever you set out to do.
Yeah. Thank you, not just for speaking with me, but also for the course. And at least in sentence correction and critical reasoning, e-GMAT is the sole reason that I got these scores. So thank you so much. And yeah, I would wish everyone taking the exam all the best and not to get frustrated. Just keep working hard and following the processes.
Yep.
And yeah, I hope it works for everyone like it did for me.
Amazing. That's what we wish for. That's what we are here for.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye, Ronak.
Thank you. Bye.